morning, everyone. This is Tony from her Homestead Skills, and not to be daunted by the rising gas prices, I decided to get out and about. I really do not like locking myself in, not for the weather and not for gas prices, but I did roll a couple of things into one. So I went to the thrift store this morning and I did find one little item, but since it was only one item, I'll wait till I have a few more before I do a thrift store video. Okay, so a couple of interesting things happened today, and one of them was that Tamara Litch, who was one of the organizers of the Freedom Convoy that ended up in Ottawa, and who was arrested and charged with, what was she charged with? Encouraging. Okay, so a couple of interesting things have happened today, and one of them being that Tamara Litch, who was one of the organizers of the Freedom Convoy that stormed the Ottawa Capitol and stayed there for a little while. She was arrested on counseling to commit mischief. Not something she should have been denied bail for. So she did have a new hearing, and the judge reversed the earlier decision. She was let out on bail, and the judge affirmed that for the crime that she was committed, counseling to commit mischief, was not sufficiently strong enough to keep her in prison without bail, that it likely would not have more than a 2-year sentence, and if she was left there without bail, she could end up with a lot longer sentence before she even got to trial. So he did reverse the decision of the previous judge, which is only right. She should never have been in jail as long as she was to begin with. So that's good news. I don't believe that the other organizers have been released yet. We'll see what happens on their next bail hearing, but it definitely is a good sign that she was released. And speaking of convoys, I have heard that the People's Convoy in the US have decided that they probably will end their convoy and go home as of perhaps by Wednesday at the latest next week. So they aren't going to stick around and cause too much trouble. They just wanted to make their voices heard, let people know that that they exist, that they're there, that they have an opinion that should be heard. I guess that's the extent of it. Now, whether that will have the desired effect or any effect at all, it's hard to say, but it does appear to be that the COVID scare has been superseded by the Russian scare. So COVID is slowly going to dwindle away and be a thing forgotten for most people. Of course, the other thing I heard today is that the U.S. will no longer be importing gas, oil, or coal from Russia, which is a good sign, as long as they're not importing it from Iran in order to facilitate the Iranian deal. But anyway, not for me to say, completely out of my hands, but my opinion is that they should look at producing it in-house. I don't think that all those high prices are the result of Russia. If the U.S. only imports between 2 and 7% of their oil from Russia, then you would think that prices would only go up 2 or 7%. Same thing applies to Canada. We don't even import oil from Russia, so the price increases in Canada I don't think are justified either. But anyway, apparently we're paying them right now. Okay, so anyway, that is the interesting news for the day. I'm sure everyone's already heard it, and everyone has their own opinion, and there's more power to you. You have a right to your own opinion. And okay, so my next, after I visited the thrift shop, I went to my friendly local superstore, Canadian Tire, which I like in some ways better than Walmart. They're not the same. They have different things, and was like wowed by the amount of Bernardin jars and lids that they have in place. I did take a video and I will show you that. And then of course I went to do some more shopping and picked up some more chicken carcasses to make stock for Mark. So this time I'm making another big pot, and hopefully the summer will come and he'll stop drinking that much chicken stock, but I don't mind making it. Okay, so I'm going to include some of the clips from Canadian Tire. It really blew me away how many lids I saw there. I think that they cornered the market on it. Anyway. Oh yes, and my reason for going to Canadian Tire was actually to see if their garden center had opened up and what garden supplies they had, but there's still very little. There was some, but it's very little, so I'll wait till the bulk of the garden centers all open, and there will be 3 of them. For me, there'll be the one at Canadian Tire, the one at Home Depot, and the other one at Walmart, so those are fairly local to me. Unfortunately, true garden centers that we used to have here have completely shut down. Too much competition from these big box stores, and true garden centers don't really do much business over the winter. So if all your business is 6 to 7, 8 months out of the year, and if the bulk of it is during that time, and you only have a small amount of business during the winter, I think that the land that they operated on was worth a whole lot more, and they sold the properties, so which is kind of sad. I really enjoyed the true garden centers that were close to me. Anyway. Okay, well, if anyone thinks I'm kidding when I say I make chicken stock almost every week, not kidding. Here I've got another pot on the stove, and I've got the biggest pot I have other than my canning, my aluminum canning pot. And anyway, I've got lots of chicken in this pot. I'm hoping to make a little bit of a bigger batch than usual. We'll see. And right now, I'm just adding the ingredients that I add to the stock, which is celery, carrots, and an onion. And looks like these are all getting just, well, do I need that many? No. 3 pieces of celery stick will be fine. And I'm just going to wash all these, wash the carrots. Let's see, 2 carrots, that'll do, and 1 onion. And you want to put in the peel of 1 onion to give you that lovely color that everyone likes so much. Okay, so they've been washed, and I think I want to cut that little chunk off. But it doesn't hurt. Okay, and I'll probably just cut these into smaller chunks. And this is not something you have to do. You could probably just throw them in whole, but they'll permeate the stock much quicker this way. Now, I put this stock on the stove with strictly chicken. The pot is full as I can, as much chicken as I can put in the pot. And these 3 ingredients, and bring it to a boil, and then let it simmer overnight. Now there are other methods of doing that, but this is what I do. And then of course, tomorrow we'll be canning these up. Now you don't want to put too much of the onion peel, but the skin of 1 onion is plenty. Okay, so when this comes to a boil, I will put a lid on it and let it simmer forever. Now you could put salt, you could put spices. Mark doesn't care, so I don't bother. He adds a little bit of salt that he wants when he opens the jar, and any other spices he may like. And as you can see, this pot is pretty full. Now and this lid, this pot I rarely use. It was part of a set that my mother bought me as a wedding gift, and I still keep these pots. They're really solid. They don't make them the same quality anymore, so as much as they might look outdated, they're a really good set of pots. So, okay. So now I'm just going to find the lid for this, and it's, when it comes to a boil, I've just turned the stove on now, but when it does come to a boil, then we'll turn it down and just let it simmer. Okay, this is Tony from Her Homestead Skills. I hope you enjoyed this video, and we'll catch you on the next one.